Welcome to part 2 of the Dwarven Throne Room tutorial. Let's pick up right where we left off. Alright, so last time we were on this phase here. We had just finished almost the bases and gotten to a good stopping point with the columns. So let's continue on. Let's see, let's stop in here for a moment. I don't think we were taking a look at the module. I think we're starting here at the doorway. And at the front of the doorway, right here, right on the center line, we of course want to build only the blocks that are immediately visible to us. We finished our doorway here, capping that off, and now we're doing the wall panel behind the doorway. And the wall panel here attached to the pilaster. For all of the pilasters and the pillars, you want to go around and just extend all of those up by another block level. That's this, what is that going to be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All those 7x7 squares, extend them straight up. And of course, here's the repeating design back here for the wall panel. Just like so. And once you've done one of those wall panels, you can go in and fill in the square again here, and another wall panel, and the square in the corner back here, and then turn the corner and of course repeat the wall panels and the pilaster, wall panel and a pilaster, a panel and a pilaster, and so on and so forth till you get all the way to the end where we turn around, go that way, this way, and all the way back around over here to the door. Easy for me to say, but it's quite a lot of work for you. So do take your time on this one. It's a really big build. I think we're going to probably have 3 parts on this, I think. I don't know if I can get through it all today, but we'll make pretty good progress today, anyway, until we get up to the ceiling. So here, right on top of the cobbled deep slate for the bases for all the statues, you can see you just want to make the little cross-shaped pattern there, and do the same for all the other column bases, or rather statue bases, for however many statues you choose to include. Over here, I believe we finished the throne chair. Well, we stopped there, I think, actually. So let's take a look back here for the details for the Nether portal. And some of this is going to end up being open space back here because I didn't really optimize it for that, but everything that's not visible back here you ought to be able to ignore and not build. If you want to build it hollow, save yourself some materials on those. And I don't think you need that obsidian there. Right there, and then mirror that, of course, right back over here. Alrighty. Pretty starry floor. Alright, so let's go back over here on the inside and start with, of course, our old friend, the wall panel. Torch right there on the center line. And here's the next detailing for the wall panel. It's pretty easy, just a couple of blocks. The wall panels are going to be going straight up for quite some time, actually. For all of this video today, anyway. So 5x5 cobbled deep slate on all the pilasters, and then on all the pillars. Right there, we did 7x7 before, but now we want to do 5x5. And here's the repeating design for the wall panel. Right there. And a pilaster and a wall panel. And the pilaster in the corner. And turn the corner, and you know the drill. Wall panels and pilasters, and wall panels and pilasters, all the way till you get down there, there, and back to the doorway. So detailing for the statue bases, extend everything straight up with just cobbled deep slate like so. And I think you might want to, I'm pretty sure we're capping this off. We're probably going to start building the statues on the next phase. So right here, this is going to be the tops of the bases for the statues complete. Yes, these are absolutely enormous, and these are just the bases for the statues, for however many of these you've chosen to include in your building. So Let's go back over here, take a look at the next section. For this, a bit of obsidian right there for the screen tracery in front of the nether portal. And then the rest of it's just cobbled deep slate, the same, the 5x5 right there, and then two 3x3s right there. And that's all there is to it. Mirror it on the other side there. And we will continue on. I'm not going, you know, all the way around the room because there's repeating patterns. You would just be looking at the same thing a bunch of times with no real value added to that. I'm just trying to show you what's important for you to know in the video. So here we are, torch on the center line, detailing for the wall panel right here. And 5x5 of cobbled deep slate, except on the corners we want this bit of glowstone. And on the edges in front of that, we want some obsidian. Or in your case, probably black stone. I think you probably what I told you to use instead. There you are, detailing for the wall panel. Simple designs. All the corners right here, this is just going straight up, like so, right there. The only real changes are right here in the central panel. So it's the same pilaster design again, the wall panel, and the pilaster stuck in the corner. And we're going to stop in the corner because you know what to do around the rest of the room. And for here, all these statues now become different. All of these Dwarven statues here, they have individual tutorials already for 3 types of statues for the hammer, the axe, and the shield. So I'm just going to give you a quick top-down view here of the first layer of those. And they are time lapses, so some of you may find that more easier to follow. Some of you may not like that. So in this one here, in order to make the video not take 10,000 parts to finish, the best I can do is give you a good, quick, top-down view of the statues. I believe we have a hammer here, an axe here, and that's a hammer again, that's another axe, and then behind the throne room here is where we have the shield statues. Just like so. So I'll try and give you a good view of this to start off with. For the base, right here, for the proper blocking for that. But then, as I said, since these all have their own videos, as we go for the series, I'm just going to be taking a quick top-down view on them. Especially since I think one of these statues has already been covered like this in detail in the, what was it, the Dwarven Gate video, the previous Dwarven video in the series. So here for the detailing for the nether portal, bit of obsidian, bit of gold, and the rest of it's combinations of obsidian and cobbled deep slate and some glowstone, 2 blocks just there in those little corners. Alright, let's go on to phase number next. Torch on the center line. Almost finished this little room back here. I'll take a look in that whenever it's done. But you should already have these from the previous Dwarven videos. You're just attaching it onto an existing tunnel, so you should already have that built. That's why I'm not looking at it anymore. Detailing for the wall panel, and here for the pilasters. We can see now we do have these blocks here. We do want to have these be empty because these are some hidden lighting here with the glowstone to help light up our build. Of course, we do have a lot of visible glowstone in the build, complemented with the gold ore, so it makes it a little bit harder to see that it's glowstone. But we do also have some recessed areas where it's hidden as well, especially on these pillars, because they can get rather dark in the center of the shaft as they go up in height. Alright, detailing for the wall panel. And here again for the pilaster. the wall panel, and the pilaster in the corner. And you can probably, I don't know, you can probably forget about that block back there. It may be buried in the wall. I don't remember. And then go all the way down that way, this way, that way, and that way, all the way back down to our torch. And once that is done, we need to take a look at the column here. Did I take a look at the column on the last? I may have skipped that. We'll just take a look at that. One side of these columns, once you do one side, the other four sides are the same, just like so. So if we draw a little center line right down there, you can see that they have two-way symmetry on these columns. Here we are detailing quick top-down for the hammer statue. Top-down for the axe statue. And top-down for the shield statue. Alright, detailing here for the nether portal. And then here for the pillars and the framing around the nether portal. Alright, on to the next phase. Alright, torch on the center line, detailing for the central panel right there. And for the pilaster, you want to extend everything straight up, leaving another gap of air down there for right over the glowstone. Just extend all that straight up. The same deal for the pillars here in the middle of the room. All four sides straight up like so. And then here detailing for another wall panel, a pilaster, a wall panel, and the detailing here in the corner. Alright, let's take a quick look at the statues. Top down of the hammer. Top down of the axe. Top down of the shield bearer. Alright, detailing for the portal frame. Let's drop that right on our center line. Like so. I think this back in here you don't need to worry about. That's going to be hidden, so just take a look at the blocks here on the exterior. Just like so. And if we split this down the middle, by the way, if I just draw a little line straight down there, if we look at this, if we split it down the middle here, what we build on this side over here, this is symmetrical on both sides now that we are above the level of the stairs. Right back down there. Alright, let's move on to the next phase. And that's going to be completing our module back here for the hallway. So these are covered in detail in, I forget which part of the Dwarven, of the Mines of Moria series. It's the big hallways. Like so, and then that leads directly into, of course, your throne room. So, continuing on, torch on the center line, simple details, obsidian and cobbled deep slate for the wall panel. Here for the pilaster, we've got just some simple detailing right there, 3 blocks. Otherwise, we just have a little cross of cobbled deep slate behind that. That's going to be, what, 3 by 5? And then another 3 by 5. Here, detailing for another wall panel, a pilaster, a wall panel, and a pilaster. Let's see, let's take a look at the detailing for the pillars. Of course, the reason they have different names is pillars actually hold things up. And plasters, since they are just attached to the wall, they don't actually serve a structural function, generally speaking. That's why they had different names. Since these back here, of course, structural, and these are just ornamental. So detailing here for top down for the hammer statue, we've got one block of obsidian there for the hammer shaft. And here's the detailing for the dwarf holding it. Here, top down for the axe statue, right there. And then over here, top down for the shield bearer. Right there. So now detailing for the nether portal. Oh, well. I was going to just drop a torch on the center line, but I guess it updated the block and broke the portal, so, well, whatever. So, detailing just like so. And we'll scoot around that there. Now remember, I just said that this is symmetrical down the center line, so I'm just going to take a look at the front of this, because as you can see here, the back of it is just identical. So once you build one little quarter of this, the other 3 quarters are the same. They're just flipped and rotated against each other. All right. Next phase. Torch on the center line. Detailing for the wall panel, and then over here for the pilasters. We just got a couple of blocks of obsidian to place on those. Like so, and here the detailing for the wall panel again. A plaster and wall panel. And the plaster in the corner. Alright, here detailing for the pillar. We've got 4 blocks of obsidian right there. And then just across a cobble deep slate behind that. And that's all the rest of that one. Let's go over here and take a look from the top down at the hammer statue. Here for the axe statue. And then over here for the shield statue. Alright, detailing for the nether portal. Center line's right there. Like so, and once we get to this point here, it's all the same again. So we can move on. Alrighty, same deal again. Torch on the center line, detailing for the wall panel. And here now for the pilasters, as well as the pillars, I'm pretty sure that this is where, I mean, there might be a bit more detailing. No, I don't remember. It's been a while since I looked at it. But anyway, this design here of the 3, like therefore that, you can forget this in here in the middle. Save yourself some materials. Just build them hollow like that, and we're going to be extending that straight up for probably the rest of today's video. The same deal for the pilasters attached back here. You can save yourself some materials by only building that right there, this visible. And of course do the same for the wall panels and the pilasters all the way around the room. Just like so. Take a look at the hammer statue. Quick look there. Here for the shield statue. No, that was the axe statue. This is the shield statue. Oh well, one dwarven statue looks much like another, really. They're all the same dwarf. They're just holding different weapons. So that way, I didn't have to build 3 dwarves. I only had to build 1. But you unfortunately have to build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what, 10 statues. Have fun. Anyway, but you don't have to. I mean, you could skip all those if you just want the room without that. But let's take a look here at the detailing for the nether portal and the frame around it. Right there. And let's go on to the next phase. Alrighty, torch on the center line. We're getting above the level where we're just working on the throne room itself. So we're now well above wherever you should have finished your corridor. Leading in, so here's the detailing for the wall panel. And here for the pilasters. Just like so, like I told you, this is now going to be going straight up. This is the main body of the column shaft, right here. But it's going to be going just straight up. I forget for exactly how many blocks. We're just going to have to count those as we go. I'll try and do a count of that when we get farther down there. But anyhow, wall panel, pilaster, wall panel, and pilaster in the corner here, and just turn the corner and keep going. Let's see. Let's take a look here at the next section of the hammer statue. It's hammer time today. And here for the axe statue. And here for the shield statue. Right there, and the detailing for the nether portal. And the throne room is quite a lot of tutorials all crammed into one, some perhaps not being as detail oriented as previous ones, because the dwarven statues all have their own tutorials. This nether portal is just recycled too. Most of the column designs and everything are from the Moria series. The floor was new, but next phase, detailing for the wall panel. Extend the size of the wall panel just straight up here. Extend the pilasters and the pillars straight up with the cobbled deep slate. And then a quick glance over here in the corner. And then we'll take a look at the hammer statue. And then the axe statue. And then the shield statue. Alright, and now the detailing for the nether portal. Most of it's just going straight up for the moment. Like so. There we are. And we will go on to the next phase. Alright, so here we are detailing for the central panel. The sides are going straight up. The pilasters and the pillars are going straight up with the cobbled deep slate. Just like so. So let's go over here and take a quick look at the corner. And now back to the hammer statue. Right there. The axe statue here. And the shield statue back here. And then the nether portal here. We should be able to make quite a good amount of progress today as far as vertical height, because we're getting to the central part of the building, which a lot of it is just a stretched design. The only thing that's going to be different in this here is going to be at least after we get above the level of the statues, is going to be the wall panels is really, and the detailing for the Nether portal. Otherwise, as you can see, the pilasters and half of the wall panel behind the pilasters is repeating. It's going straight up, as are all of the central pillars around the hallway. Alrighty, so back over here, detailing for the central panel. And you know the drill for the pilasters and the pillars, so I'll just skip over that. We'll take a quick look at the corner. And then we'll take now another look here at the hammer statue. And here for the axe statue, I'll drop a couple of blocks here to let you know exactly how far away that is from that. This is the lowermost portion of his axe. I think this is the pommel of the axe, right there. And then back over here for the shield statue. And then back here for the Nether portal. Straight up, except for the detailing of the gold ore over here in the corners. All that's going straight up there. And that's all the information you need for that phase. So let's go on to the next one. Starting with, of course, the central panel right there. The pilasters and the pillars are just going straight up. And here in the corner. Now to save a little bit of time, I'm no longer going to remark on the pillars or the pilasters until we get to a point where they actually change, because otherwise everything is just going straight up. The only difference is going to be the detailing for the central panel. So until further notice, I'm going to start with the detailing on the central panel, and then we're going to take a look at the statues and the Nether portal. Alright, that was the hammer statue. This here is the axe statue. Right there. And here for the shield statue. Right behind there, and here for the Nether portal. Alright. That's all there is for that one. A detailing for the central panel. Right there. Here for the hammer statue. I'll knock out the torch there and place a block so you can see just how far. It's only one block away. Right there. Detailing here for the axe statue. If we just extend 2 blocks forward there, we have the lowermost portions. I believe that's going to be his hands. Right there with the cobble and everything. And then back here, a quick look at the shield statue. And of course, he's got his hands holding out the shield behind there. And that's 1, 2, 3 blocks forward right there. Alright, next step right here for the Nether portal. Just like so, simple detailing. And we will move on to the next phase. As soon as these statues get done here in a few phases, we can make better progress. So next level up, detailing here for the wall panel. We will take a quick look in the corner. And then here for the hammer statue. Right on top of that. Here for the axe statue. This one is asymmetrical because of the way he's holding the axe diagonal. That was difficult to make, I have to tell you. Especially the axe head itself. The pommel, the pommel on the shaft was okay, but the axe head, that was hard. Went through quite a few times on that one before I got it looking good enough. And here for the shield statue at the back. Alright, over here detailing for the Nether portal. Right there, all that's going straight up on the side of the Nether portal. So we will move on to the next phase. Look here at the central panel. Quick look over here in the corner. And now for the hammer statue. Right there, and here for the axe statue. The axe statue and the shield statue still have the optimized infill, but I guess the reference model that I grabbed for this for the hammer statue doesn't. Well, it doesn't have these blocks in the middle. It's got all these extra blocks in there that you don't need to build. You only need to build the exterior. Next, detailing here for the shield statue. And here for the Nether portal. A little bit of obsidian there, and that's all there is to it. Alright, let's move on to the next phase here, detailing for the central panel. Take a quick look here at the corner. You probably don't need the corner, but I'm just going to do it just in case. And detailing here for the axe statue. Right there, detailing here for the hammer. No. That was the hammer statue. This is the axe statue. Getting my own statues confused. That's not a good sign. Back over here, detailing for the shield statue. I mean, it's not the worst mistake I've made. I'm pretty sure I've called granite diorite and vice versa more than once. While looking straight at it. Detailing here for the Nether portal. So many blocks in Minecraft, though. It's easy to, even though I use kind of the same ones a lot of the time, it's... Sometimes you just forget what it is, especially when you're recording. Because I have to think about a lot of things while I'm doing the recording. Alright, next phase. Detailing here, simple block sequence for the wall panel. Take a quick look at the corner. And here for the hammer statue. Like so. Here for the axe statue. I've got some floating diamonds here, so I'll place one little block there. To help you with that, I think that is the lowermost portion of what's going to be the axe blade. I think I made these with one of those big double-headed axes for the dwarf to hold. That seems to be one of their preferred axes. I mean, they use all kinds of different axes. But well, if I can stop doubling my words, the double-headed axe seems to be the most preferred one as far as I can tell. Interestingly, I think also the Minoans, when they did excavations and everything, they also preferred the double-headed axe motif. Detailing here for the Nether portal. Glowstone along the center line, and then just obsidian and gold ore and everything else. This is all going straight up like that. And that's all there is to that right here. Detailing for the central panel. And then we'll take a quick look in the corner. It's just going just straight up according to the same patterns we've been doing. Let's take a look now here at the hammer statue. We're above the level of the hammer now. What we're building now is the beard and the pauldrons on top of the armored dwarf and everything. Here, a bit more of the double-bladed axe right there, and the body of the dwarf behind that. Back over here, detailing for the shield. I think at this level here, we are finishing the shield. That's the top of the shield, so we just have the body of the dwarf behind that. Alright, detailing here for the nether portal. Obsidian, glowstone, gold ore right there in the middle, straight across. And all that goes just vertical. Alright, on to the next phase. Detailing for the wall panel. Quick look at the corner. And the next level of the dwarf right there. And for the axe right here. And for the shield statue back here. And now that we are above the level of the shield here, the dwarf body is all the same. So what we build for this, going onwards on up, except for the axe head here, you can see the bodies of these are going to be the exact same for all three of the statues now. Let's see. So here, detailing for the nether portal. Like so. And we'll move on again. Alright, so let's just stop over here in the corner, detailing here for the wall panel. Right there. And the head and shoulders of the dwarf here for the hammer. And I think that's the last little bit of the axe blade right there. And once we've done that, all the bodies of the dwarf from this point onwards for all three of the statue variants is going to be exactly the same. Quick detailing here for the nether portal for the tracery in front of that. And all that's just going straight up still. Let's see, start over here in the corner, detailing for the central panel. Everything else is going just straight up. Let's take a quick look here now at, we're just going to take now one look here at the axe statue, because this is the head level. Right here, all the heads of the Dwarven statues are exactly the same, two little half slabs on each side for the pauldrons on the armor. And otherwise, we're now just building the heads of these statues, so we can dispense with looking at them all again. So here we have detailing here for the nether portal. And we have now some obsidian on the sides here. Right there. Of these large triple columns. Alright, start here in the corner, detailing here, simple detailing for the central panel. Right there. And for the head, we just need to take a look at one head of one dwarf, because they're all exactly the same. We got the little narrow eyes of the dwarf here, staring out. Ready to use their weapons to crush any interlopers that would dare come into the Dwarven throne room. The detailing here for the tracery from the nether portal and the obsidian just goes straight up and the cobbled deep slate there. We're almost done with these statues. A couple more block levels. And Minecraft's getting a little laggy because I've been flying. I don't know how many thousands of blocks we've gone today. Oh, I should have gone back over here. Detailing here for the central panel. Pretty easy. Right there. And when you take a look at one head of one dwarf, right there, just a couple blocks. Right there, repeat that all 10 times, and then we can take a look here at the nether portal tracery. Just like so. And that's all there is to that level. All the rest of it is just repeating patterns. We don't need to take a look at every wall panel around the room. That would kind of be a waste of everyone's time. Just telling you what you need to know. Alright, detailing here for the wall panel. Next, detailing here for the helmet now of the dwarf. And then the detailing here around the nether portal. And I think those two blocks back there don't matter. You can just fill all that in back there. That's just a construction gap from when I was colliding the nether portal in between two pillars. Next level up here, detailing here for the wall panel. Like so. Next detailing here for the helmet. Got a couple half slabs now. Top of that. And then here the detailing for the nether portal tracery. And of course the frame and everything around that. Alright, next level up here, detailing for the wall panel. Like so. Just a couple blocks now, we're putting on the decorative flourishes on top of the dwarf helmets. Just like so. All the helmets are the same, so let's take a look now at the nether portal tracery. Like so there. And that's all there's to that one, so let's fly on to the next one. Minecraft gets even laggier and laggier. A little too far. Oh, we now have differences. So here we are detailing for the central panel. Right there. And now we have something new coming in. We have these blocks of obsidian right there. Now these blocks, I'll just mark them here actually. These blocks here are going to correspond roughly all the way back down here to these blocks right here. Because what I did for these columns is I was super lazy, and once I got to the midpoint right there, I copied and pasted and flipped the entire column. So we're going to be replicating these details here again, but just flipped over on their heads. The same with that there and that down there. And the total height of the column shaft for a while is going to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19, 20. 20 blocks is how far we went up since I last remarked on the pilasters and the pillars and everything. Of course, you know, the pillars, they've got the same design. 4 blocks of obsidian there. And then the statues, sorry. Let me get some water. So the statues all finish off right here with 2 more blocks of gold ore, just like so. And that's all the statues. All the helmets are the same. So whether you chose to build the statues or not, or different kinds and variants of statues, those should all be done. So we can now focus only on the structure of the room itself. Let's see, what do you need to know? The nether portal tracery over here is what we need to look at. Just like so. And then we've got a whole bunch of obsidian and everything squished together back over here. Right there, and that's 1/4 of that, so the other 3/4 are the same. And we can go on to the next phase. So here, let's just go back to the middle here. Detailing for the central panel, like so. And here you can see what we're doing is we're flipping the design that we did back down there for the plasters, and we're building it again, just in reverse order to what we put it down at the first time. Same thing for the pillars, just like so. And over here for another portal. Right there. Okay, let's move on to the next phase. I think all we need to cover now are the panels, the pilasters, the pillars, and the nether portal. Really. So detailing here for the central panel. Detailing here for pilaster. You can see we got the holes again up here, and that because we got that hidden glowstone that we're putting back in again. Like so. Detailing here for the pillar. And then the detailing for the nether portal. Go over them just a little bit more. All right. Next phase, let's take a look at the central panel. The detailing again here, you already have a copy of that down there, so I'm not gonna talk about that too much. Here for the pillars. And then back over here for the nether portal. Do have a bit of an overhanging cobbled deep slate here we need to be aware of. Like so. Not get too close, we don't want to go nether today. Or ever, really. So here detailing for the central panel. And the pilaster. That should be the hidden glowstone there up at the top. Same thing for the pillars. And then here again, detailing for the tracery around the nether portal. Alright, we've got some lighting errors down there on the columns. That's fun. The Minecraft lighting engine has it's never been the best. Different versions always seem to break it in new and exciting ways. So back here at detailing for the central panels. And then for the pilasters here. For the pillars, I think that's going to be, what, 5x5? Cobbled deep slate on all those. Let's take a look here at the detailing for the tracery around the nether portal. All right. Next phase. Central panel. 7x7 cobbled deep slate for the pilasters and for the pillars. Detailing for the nether portal. Alright, next phase, central panel. Extend up the cobbled deep slate on the pilasters and the pillars, 7x7 on all of those. And here for the nether portal. Alright. Next phase, detailing here for the central panel. We now have 2 blocks of cobbled deep slate leaning in over each other and on all these panels now. So be mindful of that. 5x5 cobbled deep slate on top of all the pilasters and on top of all the pillars. 5x5 square. Detailing back here for the nether portal. We'll finish this nether portal eventually, I promise. Like so. And we can go on to the next phase. Alright, detailing here for the central panel. We can see that the cobbled deep slate has come in by 1 block on either end. And here detailing for the pilaster, you can see we're reverting back to our previous patterns. Down below with the individual blocks of obsidian right here, well, right there, which are going to correspond to, I think it's going to be these blocks back down here. So you can see that since we're getting close to the floor down there, we're also getting close to the top of the pillars and the pilasters. Like so. Detailing here for the portal. And we'll go on to the next phase. Detail for the central panel, we have our blocks of cobbled deep slate are coming in another block, so our central panel is getting smaller and smaller. Like so. And the detailing for the pilaster. And the pillar. Detailing here for the nether portal. We do have a double thick obsidian here now. Right there. Next phase, detailing here for the central panel, what's left of it. Then the pilaster. Quick look in the corner. And simple design for the pillar. And not so simple design for the nether portal. But I mean, it's the screen right behind the literal throne chair of the Dwarven king, so it's got to be impressive. Alrighty, detail here for the central panel. What's left of that, we have another block of cobbled deep slate coming in on the sides here. Detail for the pilaster. Take a look at the corner. Take a look at the pillar. And then all the way back here to the nether portal. Alrighty, back here detailing for just 5 blocks for the central panel, like so. And oh, there was detailing I apparently missed. Hope you saw it. For the last couple of phases, we can see that we were going up like this here straight, right there. But for the last 3 blocks, we wanted to add just that little amount there to come in, and we want to do that on both sides here. I should have pointed that out earlier. My fault. Just like so, it's following the shape of the central panel outline there. Detail for the pilaster. Quick look in the corner. Detail for the pillar. And the detailing here for the nether portal, which we are capping off now. So that's going to be what? Right on the center line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. So you can go ahead and light that thing up if you want to. And we will go on to the next phase. Alright, here, detailing for the central panel, what's left of it, 5 blocks. Right here, and of course these little side blocks are coming in just like so. And this for the pilaster. And then repeat it again here on the pillar. Alright, let's go back over here to the nether portal. We still have, we built the portal itself, but we've got to build the rest of the frame around it. Like so, just obsidian straight across there. And then various combinations, couple deep slate, obsidian, and red nether brick. Right there. Alrighty, let's go back over here, detailing for the central panel. For the side panel, I've got another block coming in right there. And detailing here for the pilaster. Same sort of detailing for the pillar, just on 4 sides. Then here again for the frame, like so. And we will go on to the next phase and what is going to be the next part. However, I think I want to try something new. I'm going to release the entire rest of the thing in a third part, but I'm just going to shove it in this video, so it's going to be extra long. And yeah, I will have to record that some other day later this week. So I want to thank you very much for watching, and we will immediately pick up right now with part 3. Alright, it's a few days later for me, so let's continue on now with the rest of the tutorial for part 3. Which is essentially part 2, because I'm putting it all into the one video, like I said. So let's continue on. I'm pretty sure we did all of this phase before I sit down in the chair there. So let's go on to the next one. Let's see, what was the pattern we were doing? I think we were starting in the corner here. We were taking a look at the next portion of the central wall panel. Right there, just a couple of blocks. And of course the side sections are the same, and in the corner here. Now on top of the pilasters, we want to put down another, what is that going to be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another 7 by 7 slab of cobbled deep slate. For the pillars also, we want to cap those off with a 7 by 7 slab of cobbled deep slate, just like we did all the way down there at the bottom. I think that's going to correspond to this right here, so I'm pretty sure we're going to have 2 on top of those. And then that'll finish the sequence for the pillars and the pilasters. Let's see, we finished the statues off quite a while ago. We need to go over here and take a look at the detailing for the nether portal. So you can see here we have in front of the obsidian, we have some red nether brick, some more obsidian, and some cobbled deep slate right there, overhanging, and this is what it looks like from the top there. So we're just filling out the frame, getting ready to integrate that into what is going to be the ceiling modules. Right there, and this is just going to be another 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks for that one. What's it come out for 9? I think it's because there was a lot of extra stuff that got collided with the columns there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, yeah. Those are all 9 by 9. I think I misspoke. It's the, it's 7 by 7 in the corner, but it's 9 by 9 on top of all the rest of them. Like, I just bet you this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 there, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, yeah, the pilasters shave off a couple of blocks right there, but on top of the pillars, it's going to be 9 by 9. Just like it was all the way down there at the base. Alright, so remember this is symmetrical, so once we do one side of this, the other side is done exactly the same. Just like that there. I think there's a hole in there for that block. And then we can move on to the next phase. Alright, detailing for the wall panel. Bit of gold glowstone, red nether brick. The side sections extending up here. And on top of all of the cobbled deep slate that we put down, the 7 by 7 there, the 9 by 9 here, just add another layer for a total of 2 on top of all the pilasters and the pillars. Let's go over here to the nether portal. We've got some simple details. This is going straight up here with a bit of obsidian across the front, and the rest of it's going to be various combinations of cobbled deep slate right there, and then just straight up for the rest of it back here. All right, moving on to the next phase. 5 block detail there for the central panel, what's left of it. We're almost done with that. And then extending the sides up here on both sides. And then now we're putting in the footings for what is going to be the ceiling vaults. So we want to overhang a couple of blocks for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks there, and then cut in for 2 right there, and then another 5 right there, and the rest of it's just cobbled deep slate. Same pattern over here. 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 2 diagonal. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On top of the pillars, we have the same deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then another 2 diagonal, then another 5, a 2, a 5, and a 2, and that's the entire sequence. It overhangs just on the front faces, and it cuts in by 1 block right there on the corners. So that goes on top of all the, well, no, not quite. It goes on top of most of the pillars. It goes on top of all the pilasters around the edge of the room. It goes on top of all of the corner ones. Like the 4 corners, we have this one here, that one over there, that one here, and that one over there. Now for the 8 front-facing ones, right here, these 2, those 2, this was going to be the 2 over there. That's going to be a little bit different. And this 2 over here, we have a slightly different pattern because we have this octagonal vaulted section to hold the galaxy, you remember, up in the ceiling. So some of the detailing for this is going to be a little bit different. So let's see. So here, we'll start at this corner here. Then we have the 2 diagonal again. And then we have 5, 2 diagonal, 5, 2 diagonal, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. But then we don't have a diagonal. Then we have 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and 3 here for a total of 4 right there at the front. Okay? And it's going to be sitting out front here. It's going to be sitting out back with these, where the torches are there on the lower block. That's where we're not placing anything there. So this is going to be our pattern. We just got a stray block back there. You can build this section hollow if you want to. Just go ahead and knock out the interior blocks. Just to make it a little bit more apparent. Right there. And then we want to come over here and you want to reverse that pattern, mirror it on the other side of the center line, and build another copy of it. Just invert it. Remember, we have our center line running down the middle of the room? Okay, so, and then you want to rotate that entire pattern by 90 degrees, and then build it again, right here. And then mirror it again on the other side of the other center line, goes through the middle of the room, and build another section right here. Same numbering we did over there. We're just flipping it and building it there. And then we're taking that entire section and rotating it and building it here. And then on the other side of the room here, you want to flip that pattern around again and build it on top of these 2 columns, just like so. All right, so this is kind of a critical phase, so you want to slow down a little and make sure we get all that correct. And then we'll go over here and take a look at the nether portal. So the center part of the nether portal is pretty easy. We just want to overhang by 1 block with the cobbled deep slate. And then you can just slab it straight over. And then we have this pattern again that we did right over there. We have it again over here, but it's kind of collided into the nether portal. So for that to make more sense, I will... Where's our center line? It ought to be right there. So I'll mark down some torches on top of the blocks you want to be placing, just to make it really apparent so we don't make any mistakes over here. Because this is different now at the back. Up until this point, the portal has been symmetrical on both sides, but now that we are to this point here, it becomes a little different on the ends right here. And then, of course, you want to mirror that on the other side of the center line right there. Just like we have been doing for the portal and everything. And then that's going to be all, I think, for this phase. I'll just spend a little more time looking at this from another angle before we move on. And again, some of these interior blocks back here, you don't have to worry about. Don't have to worry about those. And we will move on to the next phase. Let's take a look at the next section. We're down to 3 blocks now on the central panel, overhanging by 2 blocks of cobbled deep slate right there. The corners in here going straight up on either side. And back here, I think I didn't include them in the materials list, I don't think. But you can just leave it out, just some nether brick fences. We have some more hidden lighting back here. Remember, like we had all the way down there with the glowstone, and then up here again? Well, we have a little bit more right here. Just like so. You're extending up the pattern that we laid down on top of the pillars, but we're just recessing a little bit of glowstone back there to be some hidden lighting. And I put a little bit of nether brick fences in there just to make it look a little bit even more hidden. Those are optional. I don't think I included those, but if you want to, you can place some fences in there to more obscure the area. Alright, then on top of the pillars, we want to do the same sort of thing. We want to extend up all the cobbled deep slate, and it's just going to be in the middle sections, the middle 3 blocks there. We want to cut back and do a little recess, a little 2-block recess, and place some glowstone. Then you want to do that on all 4 corners, just like you see there. And then you want to do that on all 4 corner pillars, on that one over here, there, and there. Of course, the design is different for the 8 pillars holding up the octagonal vaulted section. So let's start here at the corner. We can see that this section here is the same, as well as this one back here. And part of this one would be, I suppose, there's probably an oversight. There should probably be a block of glowstone there. I think we can fit in. Otherwise, we want to continue up the pattern here, but we want to have this different pattern here of the obsidian worked in with the cobbled deep slate, just like you see done here. All right, and then of course you want to go over here and place that on top of the mirrored section. The same pattern, just mirrored on the other side of the center line. Just like so. Let me scoot up a little. And of course, rotate that 90 degrees. Build it on top of those. Then flip it around and build it on top of those 2. And then over here, we'll take a look at the more specialized portion for the nether portal area. Well, the nether portal is done, but for this section. So we want to take all the cobbled deep slate that we put down and just extend it up a level right there. And then cut it back another 2 blocks right here, and then a block right there, and then place down this pattern of cobbled deep slate and obsidian. Or in your case, it's probably black stone. And there's extra back here you don't have to worry about. Remember, this build didn't get optimized for interior fill like some of them do. I suppose we can place another block of glowstone there if you have it handy. And then here at the back. And then just straight across with a cobbled deep slate. This is interior stuff that doesn't need to be there. I guess that extra block of glowstone you can move it over there instead. Okay, and then of course we want to reverse that and repeat it over here on the other side of the center line. All right. Next phase here, only 1 block of obsidian for the wall panel, and the rest of it's going to be 2 more overhanging blocks of cobbled deep slate. right there, and then another 2 on the corners there, just like so. And then we want to extend up everything over here. Just cap this off with 3 blocks of black stone, probably another block back there as well. And then just extend up all of the cobbled deep slate that we put down before in the corner. And over here in the side as well, same deal, extend up the cobbled deep slate and cap everything off with obsidian. Same deal for the central pillars, extend up all the cobbled deep slate. And then cap it all off. Just like so. Let's see. So the next section we want to take a look at here. That was for the 4 corner pillars. Now this is going to be for the 8 central pillars. We want to extend up the obsidian and the cobbled deep slate. Just like so there, and then mirror it on the other side of the center line. Flip it, or rather rotate it 90 degrees, build it again. Flip it and build it over there again. And then we will come over here and take a look at the nether portal frame. So in the middle here, just extend up all of the cobbled deep slate, just like so, and extend up all of the obsidian as well. All right, and let's move on to the next phase. All right, so the central panels are finished, and now we're capping it off with 1 block of overhanging cobbled deep slate right there. And we could stand back and admire our completed central panel design. I went through several iterations before I got to this one. It's a modification of my previous panels, but I wanted to make it just a little bit more intricate. Because there's a throne room, it does need to be special. Over here in the corners, extend up the cobbled deep slate, and we want to have just 1 detail block of red nether brick in the middle of the obsidian there. Same deal for the pilasters here that aren't in the corner. And then same deal for the 4 corner pillars. Just like so. And then for the 8 central pillars, we want to do a similar design, except we do have some differences. We want to have 1 block of overhanging cobbled deep slate right there. Otherwise, you're extending up all of this. Just like so. And then flip that on the other side of the center line and build it over there. You know the drill, rotate and build it again, and flip it and build it over there. Let's go over here and take a look now at portal frame. So we want to set back a block here for the cobbled deep slate and extend it up again. Over here, I'll place down a little carpet down below there so you can see it a bit easier. I don't think we need to worry about what's back here. At least I don't entirely remember. I'm pretty sure this is just left over because I just took the Dwarven Nether portal tutorial and shoved it behind the throne. I didn't optimize the infill, so it's very likely all of these extra blocks back here you don't need to worry about those. Just build what is visible on the face of it. Right here. So we got an overhanging block of cobbled deep slate there. And then the back of it is just going to be the standard design for the tops of the columns and everything. All right, let's move on to the next slice. One. Can already no. One block of cobbled deep slate right there in the middle at the top, and then otherwise the rest of it's red nether brick. Couple of overhanging blocks here on sides, like so. And then in the corners, extend up everything that we just did. Extend up the obsidian, the nether brick, and the deep slate. Do the same here for the side pilasters. Do the same here for the four corners, for the four corner pillars. And then do the same here for the 8 central pillars. And then mirror that one over here, and then rotate it 90 degrees, build it again, and flip it and build it over there for these two as well. All right, then over here, same sort of deal. We would rotate it again, but this time we're plugging it into the nether portal, which for this one we're setting back 2 blocks there and building a bit of this right here. I think that I don't remember if, let me go over here real quick. That may end right there. It kind of looks like it does. Okay, yeah. So I think we probably do want to build the top of it as it's shown here. So let's get a good look at that. We just got obsidian run straight across, and then a pattern, which we'll take a look at that. Just a simple echo of the floor pattern, except very simple. Up here at the top for that, and here's the detailing for the top of the pillars over here as well. And since I just took a look at that, I'm pretty sure that that is going to finish off. Building the entire portal frame, just like so. And then from this point, we'll only be focusing on what's going to end up being the octagonal arches that are going to be going around the room, like that there, to build our upper octagon. So let's go on to the next phase here. Really easy, just straight nether brick right across there. That's going to be what? 7 blocks? And then the corners right there. And then here for the these sections, we want to start overhanging. We want to be repeating this pattern here, but we want to overhang it by a block. Right there. And then overhang by a block there. We want to have 1 block of black stone there in the middle, and then the same pattern there on the side. Same deal over here for the side pilasters. Take a look at that from the bottom. Where we're going to start forming our angular dwarven arches back here for that's going to form the frame to put in the coffers for the vaulted ceiling. And then same deal over here for the 4 pillars. You want to repeat that design there, almost. Okay, this is where these become just a little bit different. So we want to repeat that design here, where you see the overhanging obsidian blocks there on 3 sides, but on the side that's facing inwards toward the octagonal section, it now needs to be different. We just want to have it go straight up with cobblestone right there. And that is because this section is going to end up forming a little triangle. So we have to have a unique ceiling vaulted design for that there. And then, of course, on the other 3 of the 4 corner pillars, we want to rotate that design and build it We want to build it the same, except for the section that's facing inwards towards the octagon here is where we just want to go straight up. Is where you don't want to have those extra 3 blocks there. So you want to go and do that for this pillar over there and for that one over here. Now let's take a look at the design for the 8 central pillars. So we just extend up our obsidian here, and we'll keep extending it up here. And then we want to lean out by a block, by several blocks, right along here with the obsidian and this red nether brick block right there. We do need to have that. And then turn the corner here. And I wonder why that isn't obsidian. Probably a good reason. Better build it as shown, just like so. With the cobbled deep slate there. And then the back side of the pillar is going to be the same sort of design over here on the back. But in other words, if we took a center line and we split these down, can't place carpet today, down the middle like that there, we can see the back half of these is going to be a mirror image of what we built over there. But the front half is going to be the portion that's different, because this is the section over here. We have to do a diagonal vaulted angular arch right here on 45 degrees. So this took quite a while to build. I went through several variations before I found one that I thought looked good enough, that I was happy with. So that's the one I went with. But it is going to be a little tricky in these front sections here, because it's difficult enough to do an octagon in Minecraft anyway, and it's doubly difficult to do a vaulted octagonal arch up there as well. So once you do one of those, of course, you want to mirror image and build it over here again, and then rotate it, build it on top of those two, flip it, and build it on top of those two. And then rotate it again and build it back here, actually. So if we draw our center line, right through there, we have finished off this portal frame. So what we did back there, like I said, we want to take this one and then just flip it and build it again on top of this, because now we no longer have to worry about the integration with the portal frame. That's completely done. We just have to build it on top of this here. So I'll just go around here very slowly and give you a look at that. Don't worry about those 2 stray obsidian blocks there in the middle. Alright, and that's how all of that should look. So let's proceed on to the next slice. So central panel, 5 blocks of red nether brick, 2 overhanging blocks of cobbled deep slate on either end. The rest of it's obsidian. And then build up the same pattern that we did here. For all of that in the corners, just go straight up with that. Extend up the pattern here for the side wall pilasters, just like so. Extend up again the same pattern, the same numbering, the same pattern for the 4 corner pillars, except for this section here, these little 2 blocks. Right there, we want to have 2 overhanging blocks of cobbled deep slate. Remember, this is a section that will be facing inside to the octagon here. So if you went over here and build the other 3 the same way, you want to have this little cutout here for the section facing the octagon. Otherwise, you would rotate it over here, rotate it again, rotate it again. And if you rotated it back over here, it should come out to be that pattern. And I think if I just knocked a couple of blocks off of it right here, if I just took those 4 out, that would be the pattern. Alright, let's take a look here for this section. Let's start, I think it'd be easier if we start right here, right in the middle of the arch. We've got an overhanging block of obsidian right there. Otherwise, everything's being extended up. Another overhanging block right there. Extend these blocks up here. And then that's the other side of our center line I just talked about. So everything back here is just going to be extended straight up from that. So I want to slow down and make sure we get views from above and below here, because this is a particularly tricky section, building these arches like that. Alright, so once you do that, you want to, of course, flip it and build it right there. And then rotate it 90 degrees, build it again over there on top of those 2. Rotate it 90 degrees again, build it back there on top of the portal frame. And rotate it one last 90 degrees and build it over there. So it's the same pattern, it's just 4 different orientations that you have to do it in. Alright, next slice. Red Nether brick, 5 blocks straight across the middle. A bit more cobbled deep slate, 2 blocks, and then the obsidian. And then over here you can see we are bending out the pattern again. Just like we did down here for this, you want to do it again up here, except 1 block farther out. Of course, in the middle for that, we have overhanging blocks of cobbled deep slate. And instead of 1 overhanging block of obsidian, we now have 2. Alright, that's the detail for the corner. For the side wall pilasters, we want to do the same deal. Just like so, except on 3 faces instead of 2 in the corner. And then you want to do the same detailing for 4 faces, except for that section over there, facing the octagon. Back here for the 4 corner pillars. And then right here in the middle, we want to have now 1 overhanging block of obsidian. Right there. Okay, so rotate that. Do that for that corner there, that one there, and that one there, rotating as you go. Make sure the 1 block of obsidian is always facing towards the inside of the octagon. And then now let's take a look. Let's start here again. We are extending this pattern over just like we did. And then over here we have this 1 overhanging block of obsidian right there. And then overhanging block here of cobbled deep slate. 2 overhanging obsidian there. And then also a red nether brick back there as well. And then more overhanging blocks right there. And then the back side of this is the same pattern as the pillars and the pilasters. Alright, so take a look at that from the top. Of course, you want to mirror it and build it again over here. Rotate it, build it on those 2. Rotate it again, build it back there, and rotate it again, and build it back over here. Alright, let's go on to the next slice. So we are putting 5 blocks of cobbled deep slate right there. Well, I guess it's just a total of 7, really. And then 3 blocks of obsidian right there, just like so, for the wall panel. And for some reason, there's extra blocks back here. You don't need to place all this stuff back here. Save yourself some time and materials off of that. And just build what's visible from the inside of the room. So over here for the corners, extend up all the patterns that we just talked about there. For the pilasters, extend up all of those as well. On the 3 faces, extend up all of the 4 side columns right there, except for the middle here. Extend up 1 block of obsidian, but we have overhanging blocks of cobbled deep slate right there. And that's going to be the section facing in towards the octagon. So remember the rotating, and do it again for that one there, there, and there. Now let's take a look at the central 8 pillars. So let's start over here, extend all that up. Overhanging block of obsidian right here. Another one here, and another one here. These 2 are extending straight up there. And there's the other side of our line, so the back here is just the same as that section there, just flipped around right there. All right, and you know the drill. I don't think I need to repeat that anymore. You want to mirror, rotate, rotate, rotate. All right, next section, obsidian or blackstone, just straight across right there for the wall panel. We want to extend out again, lean out another 5 blocks, same pattern, just leaned out by another 5 blocks there, and then lean out a block here and there, and of course another 5 there, and then right here 2 blocks of overhanging obsidian and a central block of red nether brick right there. All right, same pattern for that over here. For the side pilasters. And then same pattern for the 4 pillars, except for this section right here, where we have 2 overhanging blocks of obsidian right there in the section facing in towards the octagon. Otherwise, the entire pattern is the same. All right, let's take a look now over here, down towards there. We've got an overhanging block of obsidian here. Oh, that one gets extended straight up. Cobbled deep slate there, 4 blocks, then 2 blocks, and then one there, an overhanging block of cobbled deep slate there, 2 overhanging blocks of obsidian, and a block of red nether brick as well, just like so. We got some double overhangs back here. For that, another overhanging block here, there, and then right there. And then the rest of this pattern on the back is going to be the same, because these are going to be the, if I get a little altitude, I can explain that better. The reason it's the same on the back is because these squared off sections here, they all have the exact same design of ceiling coffer. So we're going to have a coffer here, there, back over there, there, all around the perimeter of the room. We're going to have the same design of repeating coffer. It's only in this section right here where we have this triangular coffer that it's going to be a little bit different. And because we have the octagonal section up above that, these front sections here end up being different. That's why this section here and that section there and there is all different to accommodate that. So you know the drill. Once you want to mirror it there, rotate, rotate, rotate. All right here. So just extend the obsidian straight up, or just right across there. Extend up all of the design here that we just placed down and talked about in the last phase, just straight up another block level for the corners, for the pilasters, and for the 4 pillars, except for this section here, the section facing the octagon. It's always got to be different. We've got 2 overhanging blocks of cobbled deep slate there. Otherwise, everything else just goes up another block level. All right, let's take a look at the central 8 columns here. So we've got an overhanging block of obsidian there. And everything else is being extended straight up except for right here and here, where I'm pointing out the overhanging blocks. Because this can be really difficult to see, so I just want to make sure that we don't make a mistake on it. These are extended straight up, just like so. All that's just being extended straight up. And then you know the drill. You want to flip that, build it again over here, rotate, rotate, and rotate. Okay, next section over here, obsidian again, straight across there. And then we want to lean out under the 5 blocks here. Same pattern, we're just leaning it out. You can see for every 2 blocks we go up, we're leaning out 1. It's like so. Overhanging block of cobbled deep slate there and here. 2 overhanging blocks of red nether brick, and then 2 overhanging blocks of obsidian right there. Same design over here for the wall pilasters that we did in the corner. I think you can see where this is going. We've just got a regular repeating design here, except for the little pendentives. Right there, same design also for on top of the pillars, except for the section facing the octagon, where we have we have 2 overhanging blocks of obsidian right there, and everything else is going straight up. Okay, so let's take a look now here. Drop down a torch there. So we've got, of course, the 5 overhanging blocks here for these central arches. We've got 1 overhanging block of obsidian there. Extend all this straight up here. This one's cobbled deep slate now. And we've got overhanging cobbled deep slate right here. And here. And overhanging obsidian here and red nether brick here. You can see we've kind of got this repeating pattern going now too, that we built enough of it. And you can see where we're going with that. So now that we've built enough of this, let me just scoot around it on the top here, and then we'll take a longer look at it at the bottom, so we can kind of pause for a minute and make a check on what we built so far, because we don't want to get too much higher in this before we check our work and make sure that we haven't gotten off on a block somewhere. You know, Minecraft, those 1 block mistakes are always very, very easy to do. In fact, I wonder why. I kind of think there should be obsidian there. Just looking at it. But maybe there shouldn't be. I think that probably had something to do with the arch. We're going to go ahead and build it how I have it, though. It's been a little bit of time since I finished the reference model for this than when I'm recording it, so sometimes I forget decisions I made on things. Alright, so let's orientate ourselves. So once you do that, of course, you want to mirror it over there. Rotate, rotate, and rotate. Alright, back over here, obsidian straight across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we've got these little cutouts here for, you guessed it, some hidden lighting. We've got a couple of blocks of glowstone tucked back into the recesses up here to help light up this section is like so. And then over here, we want to extend up the pattern again right there for the corners, and then the wall pilasters right there. Same pattern we built, just extend up to the block level. Same deal for the 4 corner pillars. We want to extend that up as well, except for the side facing the octagon, where we have 2 overhanging blocks of cobbled deep slate there, and just extend the rest of it up. And of course, you're doing the same thing for the other 4 corners, right there, there, and there. Now let's take a look at the design for this one, which we end up repeating 8 times, just in different orientations. So we'll throw down a torch there. Overhanging block of obsidian right there. Right here, and right there. Otherwise, the rest of this is just extended straight up. Just like so, and then you know the drill, mirror, rotate, rotate, and rotate all the way around the room. All right, next phase. Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be, I'm going to talk through this one. So remember I talked about those coffers several phases ago? Well, we can see if I get a little altitude. We'll just look at that one. We can see now we're going to be building the bottom frames of those coffers. We've been building the characteristic angular dwarven arches now. And what we're going to be doing, let's go on to this one and talk about it for a moment. What we're going to be doing now is capping off our arches. Because we pretty much finished the angular dwarven arches, and now we're going to be focusing on building the coffers. So you can see around the edges of the room we have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's going to be what? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's going to be 16 coffers of identical design all the way around the room. So when we take a look at one, of course, one of those, you're going to need to build it another 16 times. I'm sorry. And then we can see here these triangular coffers I talked about right there. We're going to be building 4 of those total, just rotated each time we build them. And then, of course, the middle section here is going to be the octagon that we built. Remember that octagon we started way back with the foundation all the way back in part 1? Well, we're going to be mirroring that again, except it's going to be on the ceiling now, and it's going to have a whole galaxy up there. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's now that I told you where we're going, so you can have a little perspective, let's go back over here and take a look at these next sections. This is going to take a little explanation. So over here, we are now completely finished with the wall panels. The wall panels all the way around the room from bottom to top should be complete. And what we're doing here is just mark where the center line ought to be, somewhere in there. We want to come out for a block of cobbled deep slate. Just run a line there. You can see if I lower down, you can see what we're doing is we're connecting now this pattern that we've been building. You want to connect it with cobbled deep slate, obsidian, red into the brick, obsidian, and two blocks of cobbled deep slate right there. Just bring it out, just extend it out over right there. You want to do the same thing over here as well, and then all the way around the room for all of those. In the middle here, we just want to just cap it off with a very simple 4 diagonal blocks of cobbled deep slate, just like so. And all of the 4 corners are right on top of these little pendentives right there. So if I get a little altitude here, you can see the very simple design for that. You're just capping it off with a bit of black and red, and the rest of it's going to be cobbled deep slate. And of course, all the coffers are going to be exactly the same, just like so. So once we take a look at one of those, you're going to be repeating that 16 times. Now let's take a look here at the design of that for the central section. So we have 2 overhanging blocks of obsidian right here. Extend that straight up. And then we have the design over here, just the same. for the underside of this arch back here. But then when we get over here, it's going to be a little bit different. So I'll show you this from below first. We have this diagonal arch I've been talking about. And then now let's take a look at it from above. I think if we just plop down a torch there and pan over it. Because here we've got an overhanging block of obsidian right there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 2 blocks right there. Right here, there. And then run diagonally for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 blocks. And then this back over here, just make a full quarter of it. And then that should be the center there. So if I back out a bit from torch to torch, that is what we want to be building right there. And then back over here, we take from this section here, count for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, then 2, and then run diagonally again for 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 9, 12, 14, and then turn the corner again. Right there, and that's the outline for the triangular coffer. Just like so. Now let's take a look at that from below. This is roughly what it should look like. If some of the numbering I did doesn't match up with what you've got, there's probably there may be a mistake somewhere down here. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But even if it did happen, I think the fix for that would be to just do the numbering like we've done it here, and just continue on. But hopefully that hasn't happened to you. So of course, for the triangular sections, you want to rotate it 90 degrees, build it over there again, there, and there. All right, next slice. This is going to be an easy one. So over here, on top of all of the cobbled deep slate, right here for the coffers, you want to extend it up with a ring of black stone right there, and you want to do that for all 16 coffers, all the way around the edge of the room, all 16 coffers. Just put a big octagon of black stone on top of that. So here now for the central octagon, I think we're going to take a look at an entire quadrant of this. I'm going to throw down a torch on what I think is the center line. And we've got obsidian just running straight across there, overhanging by a block. Overhanging by a block. Right there. 1, 2, 3. And I'll just place torches down. We've got an overhanging block of obsidian right here, by the way. Right there. And then just diagonal with your obsidian just straight across. Right there. Oop. The overhanging block right there. And then just all the way back down over here. And that should be the center line right there. So I'll zoom out on that a little bit. So that's the outward facing section. Now let's take a look at the triangular pendentive. We want to do the same thing pretty much with the black stone. Just straight on top of the cobbled deep slate, except over here we want to have, of course, these are overhanging blocks of obsidian. All these on both sides here were overhanging blocks of obsidian running straight across. Right there. All right, and that's all there is to that phase. So let's go on to the next one. It's going to be a really easy phase. All these coffers extend up the extend up the obsidian ring that we put out, the octagon, all 16 of them, extend it up for 2 more block levels. You want to do the exact same, almost, in here for the triangular pendenta. We want to extend that up, except we've got several more overhanging blocks of obsidian now. In fact, I think all of the, except for these corners here, all of these blocks here are going to be overhanging blocks of obsidian, like that. So we'll go around and account for that. All right, so there's our overhanging triangle of obsidian. And let's go back over here. That's probably the center line. And we have more overhanging blocks of obsidian right here, just straight across. And then it's back to the cobbled deep slate. And then here, we're going to have more overhanging obsidian going diagonally right there. And I think that ought to be the center line. All right. Next phase, okay, very simple here for all the 16 coffers. We want to extend up the obsidian just like so, except over here I think we're gonna be working some hidden lighting again. So we've got these 4 blocks of glowstone right there for a total of 8. So there's 8 there, 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 and there. You can see that they're placed on all the edges of all 16 coffers. You don't have to worry about these on the outer sections there. Those are just extra that got copied and pasted. Now let's go take a look at the triangular coffer. So what we want to do is we want to overhang a triangle of cobbled deep slate now, just right in front of all of the obsidian. So all the blocks you see here of the cobbled deep slate, these are all overhanging blocks. Just like we did there in a big triangle. I don't think you don't need the gold ore behind that. That's extra. That's those are non-visible blocks, but maybe it'd help you with the numbering and everything. But yeah, it's pretty easy. We just want to have overhanging section of cobbled deep slate there. All right, now for the outer section of the octagon, real simple. We have the same deal. We have an overhanging, all the blocks of overhanging cobbled deep slate by 1 block level. So you can see here, we're just taking everything we've done and we're extending it out right there. Extend it out in the corners here by 1 block diagonally with the cobbled deep slate overhanging the obsidian. And then just a straight run here of overhanging cobbled deep slate again, an overhanging diagonal run there, straight, diagonal, and back where we started, right there. And that should pretty much correspond right there to this octagon down there on the floor. In fact, we can check that if I get a little sand and put it up here and just drop it. It completely lags itself out of existence before it lands all the way down here on this block right down there. And the same should be true for the diagonal. Here's a little trick I like to use to make sure things line up on the top there. See, we can see that the sand, we just dropped them right here, fell just one block level in right down there. So that can be a check to make sure we've got everything done for the octagon and everything. I don't know if these are going to hit the column if I do it on the edge there. Yeah, some of them do. 2 of them do. Right there. Let's see. Next phase over here for the coffers, we want to have an overhanging section of cobbled deep slate all the way around. Oh, that glowstone got covered up, or did it? I'm not actually sure about that now. Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. There's a whole bunch more. I thought there was hidden glowstone up here, but I forgot at what level it was. Okay, my mistake. I'm sorry. All of this extra glowstone we placed back here, you don't actually need that at that block level. It needs to be 2 blocks higher up. I forgot that I made a change on that, and I just covered over the old glowstone. I didn't take it out. Sorry. Let's see. So there's a lot of extra back in here as well. Just forget all of this you see back behind here. That's not important. What is important is only the sections here where we have the overhanging cobbled deep slate here, and then we have it here in the corners as well, but it's like a double overhang. Like you see here, just right in front of the obsidian. And you want to do all 16 coffers exactly the same. Starting to be able to not talk, but we are so close. We have to finish this today. In fact, I really want to finish this today, so we're just going to keep going. So here you see extend up the cobbled deep slate right there for the triangular pendentive, just like so. Take a quick look at that from the bottom. And here for the octagon, extend up the cobbled deep slate again, right there, just straight up. All right, for the next section, I know this looks very messy, but remember, we only need a couple of levels here. So what we want to do is extend up the cobbled deep slate octagon that we built, but in the middle of it, we want to place these sections here. These sections are going to be little decorative echoes of what we built back down here, just like so. You want to build that in the middle, 5 blocks there in the middle of that pattern. There, 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 and there. And then before I tell you, let me go over here and just check. Make sure that's, yeah, okay. And behind that, behind the cobbled deep slate, where you see this octagon of glowstone, this is where we want to place the hidden lighting. Right there that I talked about, that had messed up a few phases back there. It's actually up here at this level. And before you start building that, let me skip over real quick to the next phase and show you what that's going to look like. We'll go ahead and cover cover that. So we can see we do have a step back now, right here. And, oh. Huh. Well, that shouldn't be visible back there. Little construction gap. That I think that should probably just be filled in with cobbled deep slate, probably. But 1/4 of this, if I show you that from the top, we can see that we're taking the central pattern, that 5 blocks, and we're putting it over, hanging it over another block level here, there, here, and there again. Extend up the cobbled deep slate again behind that you already did. But on the back here, we have some different patterns with the obsidian, the red, and the cobbled deep slate here. So for this, I'm going to take a quadrant, and I'm going to place torches right on top of the blocks that you need to place. And that should be, fill that in with some cobbled deep slate. But only the blocks with the torches on top of them are the ones that you need to be placing. There's so many extra blocks behind this that seem to be random because I rebuilt these coffers to be special for this room, but I modified the other coffers I previously included in the Dwarven series. So that's why there's you know, an obscene amount of extra glowstone there in the middle that you don't need to worry about. Just take this section I outlined for you and build that pattern. Just rotate it 3 more times. And then build it 16 more times for all of the other coffers. And speaking of coffers, we're finishing off the triangular coffer at this level. And all we're doing is wait. I'm getting ahead of myself. I forgot we skipped a level. Sorry. Let's go back here. We're almost going to be finishing off. What we want to do is place this pattern of red nether brick here. Just only the red nether brick is what you need to be placing. Take a look at that from below here. You can see it's just set in. It's overhanging by 1 block level, a triangle of red nether brick with these 2 ribs there right in the middle for decoration, just like so. And then let's go back over here. And on top of that, we want to place down a bit of gold ore and glowstone in that pattern there. 4 blocks of glowstone and however much gold ore that is. And it should look like that from below. A little extra lighting up here in our triangular coffer. And that is going to finish off the triangular coffer. And we can just stay on this phase for the rest of this, because you can see what we want to do now is extend up for 1 and then 2 levels of cobbled deep slate, another octagon. You can see just like we hung this one in by 1 block level, we want to do that again all the way around the room for the octagon. And this time, if we take the sand and we drop it from the, well, I missed a block there. Be a little bit more careful. This time, if we take the sand and drop it from the top here, well, except for the nether portal, and except for the blocks I got in the wrong position, they should all fall right on top of the edge of the octagon. Right there. But except for around here, of course, it's not gonna work for that. But for the rest of the room, it's gonna work. In other words, this edge right down here is gonna fall right on that one up there. All right, let's continue on. Take a look now at the next section of the coffers. Extend out these 5 blocks here by 1 block level. And in here is the pattern right here behind that. I'm not sure that should be cobble. I think that should be cobbled deep slate. I guess the coffers weren't quite as tidy as they should have been. In fact, those 2 blocks there should probably be cobbled deep slate as well. So that's 1/4 of the pattern, so you want to rotate that and build it 3 more times, and then 16 more times all the way around the room. The easy section for the central octagon, and go around and place black stone or obsidian right on top of that in a big octangular band right on top of the last section of cobbled deep slate that we put down. All right, next phase here, we can see we are connecting things a little bit. So I'll just show you this from below here. You can see we are taking our red nether brick and then we're making this little diamond pattern out of it. And then on either side of it, we're putting some obsidian. And not in the middle, only on these 4 sections here on the side are we putting the cobbled deep slate. Let me show you that from the top. Right there. And then behind that, we want to just do cobbled deep slate all the way around right there. We've got double overhangs right there in the diagonals. Otherwise, the rest of the coffer is going to be the same. And you can just ignore the cobblestone behind that and all this extra glowstone. So same deal on top of the obsidian or blackstone. Just do that for 2 block levels for the central octagon. All right, next level here. Just we'll take a top-down look at that first, and then we're almost finished with these coffers. A couple more levels. We can see in here we want to put in this pattern to cap that off. Just a decorative section to light up the top of our coffer with, of course, some glowstone and some gold ore. And then behind that, back here, we would just want to extend up the cobbled deep slate back in here, and then back here as well. All right, and now this section that's not going to be concluded in the rest of the tutorial because it's the Galaxy has its own tutorial for this reason, because it would stretch into another hour or so for this one. But at this level here, this is where for this one you would want to start in with the video for the Galaxy tutorial. Well, I mean, we're going to finish the coffers. But from this point onwards for the central section, this is covered in its own video. The Spiral Galaxy tutorial. So you can see here that the first thing you want to do for that, though, is you want to put down a sheet of black stained glass. I mean, it looks a lot nicer in the shaders here with the connected textures and everything. But what this is here is just a sheet of black stained glass, just like we did down there for the Starry Floor. Except you don't have to optimize it for the octagon anymore. We're done building that massive octagon, by the way. You just want to build a big square of it. And put it in right here. And let me break a couple of blocks. So you can see, just roof the entire thing off with a sheet of black stained glass. Right here, and that's going to fit right on top of the octagon right back here. And let me see. And it's going to fit 1 block level back right here on the four sides. You see this this obsidian we built. You want to make sure that the edge of your at the edge of the obsidian and or blackstone box. You could even use black wool for this if you wanted to. For the box that the galaxy sits in, this is going to be the edge of the box right here. And you would follow that all the way to the corner over here. And then turn the corner. And if I knock out some more glass here, we can see it's set back a block level here. And then right there. So it's pretty easy to sight it to get the right measurements. You just want to make sure that it sits back one block level here on that side, this one, and that one. Otherwise, it's a square. And if all your other measurements are correct, there's just really not any way you can mess that up. And then for that one, for the next thing you would want to do is, now the Galaxy tutorial itself is not laid out in slices like this because this would be impossible to count out and follow. The Galaxy tutorial is laid out in vertical slices. And for that one, I mean, it doesn't really matter which way you want to orientate it. I think you probably want to start, in fact, I think that if you're doing that video now, you would probably want to start with phase 1 right here, with phase 1 of that being the side that is above the throne chair back down there. So you'd want to start here, and then you're going to be building it in slices, of course, vertical slices, but you're going to be building it out in this direction there. You're going to start here and then build it back towards your entrance. So start over your throne chair and then build it out that way. But it is a galaxy. It's pretty forgiving. I mean, you can put it in any orientation you want to, really. I probably wouldn't notice if you did. So here, simple detailing for the coffers. It's all cobbled deep slate right there, and then just hanging over some sections right here. Just like so for 1/4, and then of course the other 3/4 are the same, and then the other 16 coffers all the way around the room. Alright, so that was the section where the end rods are, and then we're laying down more glass over there. But I'm just going to take a look at this just for curiosity's sake. So you can see that as we go. But otherwise, we want to finish off the coffers. So simple design, red nether brick now. Just overhang a block all the way around for those sections right there. And then do this for all 16 coffers. And then let's move on to the next phase here, which is going to be the last phase. We're finishing off the coffers now. Just like so. And I'm going to break that block there so we can see it from below. And this is the design, very simple design. Glowstone and gold ore on the top of all these coffers there. And then, of course, you want to do that 16 last times. And, oh, I fell. So you want to do that for all the coffers all the way around the room. And then that's going to be the coffers. Finished. The only thing you have left to do is the galaxy. And just for the sake of completeness, I'm just going to kind of pan over these and take a look at this. You can see the reason why I did not do this in the typical horizontal slices. They had to be vertical because there is no way that I could show that to you and give you any chance of having you actually be able to build it. So we had to slow down and take another angle of approach from that, especially since it is a three-dimensional galaxy, by the way. We're still going up slice by slice here. We can see the galaxy core there coming into view and everything. And this is actually the Milky Way galaxy. I mean, it's highly pixelated, but that's the shape of it. The galaxy you happen to be living in. Just right there. I'll just slide over that, but you can see why this could not be done horizontally. There's so many non-repeating patterns because of the organic shape. It had to be done vertically. Because that way we can take it line by line instead of slice by slice on that one. And after we get to that, the top of the galaxy is just one solid sheet of blackstone, and/or obsidian. And then after that, you can just slab the entire thing off if you wanted to with one last sheet of cobbled deep slate, or just, skip that entirely. You could do. And once you have done all of that for the massive and complex Dwarven throne room, it's one of the biggest and more complicated things I've tried to describe to you. I hope that the tutorial was able to help you. If it wasn't, you can still use this video as a companion and use the world download to help you build it. You could also take the schematic and just use Lightmatica or something. Or you just, copy and paste in the entire thing and forget building it yourself, if you so chose. But yeah, anyway, we are finished with the video today, so I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I hope you will enjoy the Dwarven Throne Room tutorial.